a daily fantasy. His number too high, then I'm probably fading him. He been on the road, he gon' eat up my salary. I hit up by, he gon' lie before lock. Play back to back, then I probably won't pick on the DFS bachelor, good as it gets. Build a few liners and hit me a leg. He had a good game, but it might be a trick. Log in the Slack so I know who to pick. Sharing our liners, we all gon' get rich. New to this game, you should come to the pad. You might want some cash and get a good laugh. DFS sports, we gon' run up a bag. He heard every game and it's making me mad. You buying your lineups, I think you a cheater. DFS bachelor, he the new leader. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host of DFS Bachelor, and we're going to go over our Fanduel and Draftkings NBA picks for Friday, March 6th. It's a 10-game slate, so we got our early top 5 or top 6 at every position. First things first, a big thank you to all of you for your patience, for your kindness, for your kind words, your well wishes. The family and I, we all appreciate it very, very much. Thank you all so much. Overwhelmingly kind, and I do appreciate it, and I do apologize for being off the last couple of days. We'll be making that up with NBA videos throughout the weekend. So thank you. Cheers to you all. If you are new to the channel, welcome to the team. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, get access to all of our content, fantasy draft, XFL, etc. Also, by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment in the comment section, you qualify for our weekly $25 PayPal giveaway. That is sponsored by Draft Dashboard. We announce that winner every Monday. Draft Dashboard's a tool. We're going over all of our stats, usage, history versus team, setting a player pool. You can set exposures, use it in the mass lineup generator, use it in the lineup optimizer, cash game optimizer, NHL, MLB, NFL. There's some XFL tools up as well. You can get access to this tool as well as the player pool that I set by clicking that link in the video description below. You can try Draft Dashboard for 30 days for $1. And also don't forget to try, if you're looking to try something a little bit different, you're tired of the Fanduel and Draftkings, mass entry and having to score 7 million points on Fanduel. You can try Overlay DFS. It's a lot of fun. It's head-to-head matchups. You choose which player will score the most points. You don't have to be perfect, and you can win without being perfect. OverlayDFS.com for Android users to download the app. For you Apple iTunes users, you can download the app from the Apple iTunes Store. Be sure to check out the Slump Buster. If you lose 20 times in a row in the same contest without cashing, they refund you all of your entry fees back, which I think is pretty cool. They also have the deposit bonus. They'll deposit up to 50% of your first deposit up to $100. You just contact them at Overlay DFS. And they'll sort you out there. So it's a lot of fun. Check out Overlay DFS. I've been really, really enjoying it. And also, don't forget to comment with your fantasy draft usernames as well. We'll be doing a giveaway this weekend with the extra videos that we are going to do. So that is that. So let's jump right into it. Again, don't forget to follow the news. If you're playing a substantial amount of money, if you're playing any money at all, these are wild times in the NBA. There's going to be a lot of injuries, illnesses, resting, tanking. All sorts of shit's going to happen. You can follow me on Twitter at DFS Bachelor. Follow someone, whatever your preferred method is of getting news so you know what's going on throughout the day, because I promise you there is going to be a shit ton of that. So let's get started at point guard. So at the top, we got Luka, who did not practice yesterday with an illness. So we'll have to keep an eye on him. If he does indeed miss tonight's game, then guys like Delon Wright, JJ Barea, they obviously get a boost in the backcourt. But of course, Trae Young, 9,900 on both sides. Washington allows the 4th most fantasy points in the league to opposing point guards. Put up a 71 in that last game against Washington not too long ago. I like Trae Young an awful lot tonight. Next, I like Chris Paul against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are 19th against opposing point guards. A couple of 33s in his last 2 games against the Knicks. 7-2 on FanDuel, 7-5 on DraftKings. I like Chris Paul an awful lot. Damian Lillard looks like he's going to get a full workload against Phoenix. You just worry if Phoenix can keep that game close. If Ayton indeed misses, they're awfully thin in the front court. Feels like a Whiteside type of game there. Next, Spencer Dinwiddie against the Spurs. The Spurs, 22nd against opposing point guards. He put up a 46 his last time out against the Spurs. He's 6,800 on FanDuel, 7-3 on DraftKings. I love the price for Spencer Dinwiddie. Guys like Kobe White have been red hot. Dejounte Murray's been playing better as of late with LaMarcus Aldridge gone. Thomas Satoransky, I think, is a decent price. But I like Markelle Fultz against Minnesota. I pretty much like anyone that's going to get Minnesota defense, and especially if they're going to get D'Angelo Russell defense. He's 5K on FanDuel, 5-4 on DraftKings, 28 his last time out against Minnesota. Minnesota 23rd against opposing point guards. And with Ish Smith out for this game, Shabazz Napier should see all the minutes he can handle. 4-8 on Fanduel, 5-1 on DraftKings. Atlanta 25th against opposing point guards. It's a paced-up game for Washington. Both these teams play at a nice pace, so there should be a lot of extra possessions, a lot of fantasy goodness in that Washington-Atlanta game. Shaq Harrison, if you're looking to go a little cheaper and want to take a chance, he's going to be real up and down. The Bulls are going to be crazy for the rest of the year. It's just going to be absolute craziness. They did get Wendell Carter back. They do have Otto Porter back, so there's certainly risk there. Guys like TJ McConnell, Aaron Holiday for some value as well. I could go there at point guard as well. Let's go to shooting guards. At shooting guard, of course, Bradley Beal against Atlanta. Atlanta allows the second most fantasy points in the league to opposing shooting guards. He's 10-1 on FanDuel, 10-4 on DraftKings, a 53, a 41, a 41, a 48 in his last four against Atlanta. Bradley Beal has been absolutely red hot since the All-Star break. Devin Booker against Portland. Portland, 23rd against opposing shooting guards. Could have no DeAndre Ayton. We already know Kelly Oubre's gone. A lot of the onus for the offense is going to fall on Devin Booker's shoulders. Put up a 49 his last time out against Portland. He's 8-3 and 8-4 on DK. I like Devin Booker quite a bit as well. The aforementioned defensive juggernaut, D'Angelo Russell. 8-1 on FanDuel, 8-8 on DraftKings. Orlando is 6th against opposing point guards. But again, and shooting guards, I like scoring guards against Atlanta. Or against Orlando, rather, excuse me. A 51 in his 40 and a 44 in his last two against Orlando. In fact, 2 of his last 4 against Orlando, he has at least 51. D'Angelo Russell in a great spot tonight. Next for me, against a bad New Orleans defense in a paced-up game, big time for Miami on the road, I like Jimmy Butler. 7-9 on both sides. New Orleans 14th against shooting guards. He has a 48, a 36, a 37, a 54, and a 42 in his last 5 against New Orleans. Paced up game. Sign me up for some Jimmy Butler tonight. I like Jimmy Butler a lot. Donovan Mitchell's been red hot lately. The only thing that concerns me about that is with Jaylen Brown out, Marcus Smart is going to start. So if you get that Marcus Smart defense, it's legit. So it makes me a little bit nervous there. Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert has big-time 60-point upside, and then he can get in the 20s. If you look at his last 5 games overall, he has 2 games at 63, 2 games in the 20s, and 1 in the 30s. So for tournaments, I love it. They are 6th against shooting guards. He put up a 35 his last time out against the Spurs. I do like Karis LeVert. Next, in that Milwaukee Laker game, look, it's all about Giannis versus LeBron. I mean, it's a huge game. 2 top contenders for the MVP award. Obviously, there's been all this back and forth all week about who should be the MVP. Chris Middleton, kind of going under the radar. I think he's low-owned and underpriced. He's 6'6 on FanDuel, 6'8 on DraftKings. The Lakers are 3rd against opposing shooting guards, really small forwards. He's more of a shooting guard. He's going to play the 2, and against shooting guards, they are 15th. I think with all of the attention being paid to Giannis and LeBron, I think Chris Middleton goes under the radar. If you look at his last 5 against the Lakers, only 1 game under 30. That was their last performance at 24, but he's also got a 47 and a 51 in that time frame. I like Chris Middleton an awful lot. Of course, Marcus Smart's in play. He's going to see a ton of minutes. Malik Beasley, I like quite a bit as well at 5'3 and 5'9. He has been red hot since that trade over to Minnesota. Terrence Ross has been shooting the ball lights out lately. Kevin Huerter against Washington. There's some good plays here at shooting guard. But for some value way down here below, especially on DraftKings where you get the 3-point bonus, I like Duncan Robinson. This dude can just shoot. Plain and simple. He's 4-3 on FanDuel, 4-7 on DraftKings. New Orleans allowing the 2nd most fantasy points in the league to his position. I like Duncan Robinson quite a bit. That's really it for me down here. I mean, Avery Bradley is always a guy you can take a chance on because of the minutes. Bryn Forbes will see minutes, but again, not a ton to love down there. There's not a ton of great value plays today, but there's some. There's some super cheap punts that could see the minutes but are high risk. Guys like Grant Williams, Aaron Baines, etc. Small forward, of course, LeBron and Giannis at the top. Right now, if I had to choose, I'll probably take the savings for LeBron on FanDuel. And then on DK, it's pretty even. They both have huge upside. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But both teams are excellent defensive teams. The Lakers are 3rd against small forwards. The Bucks are 8th against small forwards. This game's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'll have exposure to both players. Then you come all the way down here, like Gallinari, TJ Warren. Looks like he may miss some time, so there's going to be some value with the Pacers. Justin Holiday, Aaron Holiday, McConnell, etc. But I do like Juancho Hernan-Gomez, 4.9 on Fanduel, 5.5 on DraftKings. Put up a 48 his last game against Orlando not too long ago here. They just played pretty recently, these two teams. Playing tons of minutes, starting 4.9 and 5. Orlando 19th against opposing small forwards. I do like Hernan-Gomez. In that Atlanta-Washington game, DeAndre Hunter, 4.6 on FanDuel, 4.9 on DraftKings. Washington 27th against opposing small forwards. And his 2 games this year against Washington, a 34 and a 27. I like DeAndre Hunter quite a bit. Trevor Ariza, very up and down, but I don't mind the matchup tonight against Phoenix. He's at 4.6 and 4.9. I could go there. Kyle Anderson, But how about Jay Crowder? I think he's underpriced on both sides. 4.3 on FanDuel, 4.8 on DraftKings. New Orleans is 26th against opposing small forwards. He's playing 30-plus minutes a night. Put up a 28 his last time out against New Orleans. It's a paced-up game. I like Jay Crowder an awful lot. Love the matchup. Tonight, Otto Porter's minutes should start ticking up. Derek Jones Jr., Joe Ingles has some upside at 3.9. I can't deny that. Semi Ojeleye played 30 minutes in that last game without Jaylen Brown, put up a 35. Semi Ojeleye, Grant Williams, both of them I think are certainly in play. James Ennis is starting and playing 25, 28 minutes. He's got a 21 and a 24 his last couple of games. Justin Holiday. This is where you're finding the value on this slate. So quite a few value players there. Let's go over to power forwards. At power forward, Anthony Davis at the top. I actually like AD a lot. The Bucks are not great defensively on the interior. He put up a 67 and a 57 in 2 of his last 3 against the Bucks. And in fact, his last 5, only 1 game under a 50 against Milwaukee, and it was a 42. They're 15th against opposing power forwards. He's 10-4 on FanDuel, 9-8 on DraftKings. You gotta have some Anthony Davis. Everyone's talking LeBron and Giannis. Guys like Middleton and AD are gonna be my pivots tonight. I'm gonna have a ton of that. Excuse me. Jason Tatum has been red hot. I just don't know if I can pay $10K for him. That's just too much. Now, look, he's playing lights out, but I think it's too expensive. But a guy like Kristaps Porzingis, 9-4 on FanDuel, 9-3 on DraftKings. Look at his last 2 games overall, 68 and a 76. His last game out against Memphis, he put up a 58. Memphis is 25th against opposing power forwards. Paced up game. Both teams play it. Memphis plays at a fast pace, so it's a paced up game for Dallas. Also could be no Luka Doncic. We'll have to see, giving him even more usage. Kristaps Porzingis has been lights out. Memphis has no one who can guard him defensively. I like Porzingis an awful lot tonight. Next, mostly on FanDuel, I will pass on his price on DraftKings, but Aaron Gordon is 7-1 on FanDuel. He's 8-6 on DraftKings. Minnesota 27th against opposing power forwards, a 52 his last time out. He has come back down to reality the last couple of games after that huge burst of scoring after the All-Star break. But at 7-1 on FanDuel, I could go there. Again, I'll pass at that price on DraftKings at 8-6. I like Rui Hachimura and Davis Bertans against Atlanta. Both players are absolutely in play for me. I'll take a little bit of savings for Hachimura. Jared Allen. 4.9 on FanDuel, 4.8 on DraftKings. San Antonio is 10th against opposing power forwards, but remember, they're very thin in the front court right now as well. No Jacob Poeltl, no LaMarcus Aldridge, so they're throwing out guys like Drew Eubanks and Trey Lyles, etc. The problem with Jared Allen, you worry about foul trouble. If he can stay out of foul trouble, he's got 50-point upside. His last game out against San Antonio, he put up a 48. In fact, his last 3 are a 48, a 24, and a 35. I like Jared Allen quite a bit. James Johnson, I wish they would play him more minutes, but he's still scoring in the 30s. The problem is he's only playing in the 20-minute range. So if he gets off to a slow start, you're fucked. Just that title of your sex tape right there. Although, it's okay to start off slow sometimes. It just depends. It just depends on the patient. For some value, Grant Williams, we talked about it. He could start. He played 26 minutes that last game. He and Ojeleye. He scored a 22. Not the greatest player in the world, but he can put some stats together, and he's awfully cheap at 3.6 and 3.4. That's it for me down there at power forward and at center. At the top, you got Whiteside. I like Whiteside an awful lot tonight. He's 9-6 on FanDuel, 9-1 on DraftKings. Phoenix 25th against opposing centers. Could be without DeAndre Ayton, so they'll see some more Aaron Baines. A 54, a 49, a 58, and 3 of his last 4 against Phoenix. Hassan Whiteside's in a smash spot tonight. Right below that, Vooch, 8-4 on Fanduel, 8-9 on DraftKings. Minnesota is 11th against opposing centers. Karl Anthony Towns, of course, still isn't there. So that makes things easier for Vooch on the defensive end. Now, with Karl Anthony Towns playing, Vooch would have an even better matchup because Karl Anthony Towns might be one of the worst defensive big men to ever play the game. But still, who's going to cover him? Naz Reid and try to put James Johnson on him. Vucevic should be able to eat tonight. A 49, a 43, and a 40 in his last three against Minnesota. I do like Jonas Valanciunas against Dallas as well, although it's a matchup he kind of struggles in. Only a 20, a 20, and a 39 in his last three. Miles Turner, 6K on FanDuel, a little expensive. 5-2 on DraftKings, love that price. Chicago 24th against opposing centers. Besides that debacle in his last game where he only put up a 17, he had 4 straight really solid outings, a 50, a 40, a couple of 32s. His last 2 games against Chicago, a 55 and a 45. I like Miles Turner quite a bit tonight. And there's some value guys. Bobby Portis, let's keep an eye on the Mitchell Robinson situation. If he misses again, Bobby Portis will play 30 minutes, and he's got big-time upside against Oklahoma City at home, 4-1 and 4-5. I could go there. Wendell Carter Jr., still too cheap, 4-1 on FanDuel, 5K on DraftKings. Now, the Pacers are 8th against opposing centers. If you look at Wendell Carter, his last 2 games against the Pacers, a 33 and a 38. They upped his minutes limit to about 25 minutes on Wednesday's game. That could go up even more. I think Wendell Carter is a steal down there at 4-1 on FanDuel. So that's our early look at each position. Again, you can get access to this tool, the research, my player pool as it expands and changes throughout the day based on all the news. Click that link in the video description below. You can try Draft Dashboard for 30 days for $1. When you do, how you find my player pool, it's important you use that link. If you don't use that link, you don't get my player pool. But if you wish to compare your player pool to mine, use my player pool in the lineup optimizer, mass lineup generator, etc., you click on your Watched Players tab. At the top of the screen, you'll see a blue box that says Watch DFS Bachelor's Picks. That will highlight my watched player pool, and you'll also see a timestamp when it was last updated in Eastern Time. I'm on the West Coast, by the way, so that's why it seems like I make these videos late in the day. It's just because I'm on the West Coast. So now my player pool is highlighted. You can go to the lineup optimizer, the mass lineup generator, etc. We'll make some early sample lineups here. So I think this is a good lineup. It gave us Chris Paul, Dinwiddie, Duncan Robinson, Bradley Beal, DeAndre Hunter, LeBron James, Aaron Gordon, Davis Bertans, Wendell Carter. I think that's really, really solid. I really like that. Still leave 100 on the table. I think that's a solid lineup, for 8 o'clock in the morning. Let's go to DraftKings. So they went a little heavy on the Nets here. Dinwiddie, LeVert, Robinson, Rui Hachimura, Jared Allen, Markelle Fultz, Anthony Davis, Davis Bertans. I like that. We talked about the Chris Middleton thing. I'll probably pivot down here to Chris Middleton. Getting him pretty cheap. Can I play him at shooting guard? Apparently you can't do that anymore on DraftKings. Chris Middleton right there. Then we'd have to get some savings from Karis LeVert. Could get to a guy. Then we go to a Duncan Robinson there. Delon Wright, etc. If we keep an eye, if Luka is indeed out, we'll put Duncan Robinson right there. I think that's a solid lineup too. You still have 300 to upgrade if you wish to upgrade somewhere else. If you wish to come up from Davis Bertans to a Malik Beasley, who I think is a great play, etc. Lots of ways you can go. Click the link. Try it for 30 days for $1. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Be part of the weekly $25 PayPal giveaway. We will announce that winner on Monday. Comment with your fantasy draft username. We'll do that. Announce those winners over the weekend. Check out Overlay DFS. That's a lot of fun. I do appreciate you all so much. Thank you all again for all your kind words, condolences, and your patience. Cheers to you all. I really do appreciate it. It's really humbling. I'm really lucky to have such a great group of people that follow my show. Thank you all so much. May the fantasy gods be with you, and we'll see you this weekend for some NBA videos. Love you all. Thanks again. Goodbye, folks.